Howdy. So, recently I've gotten one or two direct messages from people asking, gosh, we know you generally focus on art stuff, but what are some of the weirdest Linux distros you've heard, at least in the last 10, 15 years? And I sat down and had to give that a lot of thought, only to think of what is the most bizarre Linux distros. So, I decided to go back in time a bit, in a bit of history, and came across three very bizarre Linux distros that I'm going to talk about in this video. So, I don't know if you can guess what they are, and no, Lindows, as much as it might be one, isn't one. I'm talking some from the really weirdest parts of the internet. Now, of course, there are other weird distros we know about, but um, there are some that are, well, you tell me what you think. So I'm going to start off with the first one. And the first one I have got to tell you is Hannah Montana Linux. That's right. Some person out there in the world thought, hey, they really like Hannah Montana. And who wouldn't want to have a Hannah Montana Linux distro? Yeah, you and me both. So, as you can see, good old Hannah Montana Linux with a really shocking purple color there is looks like it is a rebased on Ubuntu. So if we start it up and see if it loads, I think this distro is about 5 to 7 years old by now, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm quite happy that it's not still being maintained. But yeah, you know, everyone to their own, I suppose. I still take it that this distro must have been a joke. I hope it was a joke. So as you can see here, it looks like it uses KDE4. So yeah, I want to make a comment about this distro couldn't get any worse, but hey, if those of you that survived the KDE4 days that we once were subjected to, you'll completely and utterly get where I'm coming from. So let's give this a tad slow. Oh, it even has the old KDE startup. So of course, look here, it is old Kubuntu with a very weird theme. Okay, so of course in the desktop we have Hannah Montana Tuxified. We have Hannah Montana, and yeah, let's see what else is customized in this distro. A normal launch section here. So anything in documents, no. Music, no. Of course, they wouldn't have been able to have distributed anything like that, because it would have been copyright infringement. Nothing in the wallpapers. Videos, no. Okay. That was a bit pointless. Let's open up File Manager. Yes. Good old version of Dolphin. So, out of interest, this was Dolphin 1.2.1 using KDE 4.2.2. Yes, the KDE. Old KDE 4 days. So, nothing else really seems to be much here. Looks like from the old days when people used to spin up their own distros a bit. But let's see what the Joyful Terminal is going to show us. Okay, so let's first check how much memory this thing uses. Quite light in memory. Only about 800 megs. Although granted this is a tad old, let us take a look at your name -r. So it was still using kernel 2.6.28 and built on 2nd of June in 2009. This is a pretty old version. Surprised it still boots up. So of course, yes, no one in their right mind would still be using this distro. Not only because of the content, but because of just how old it is. This would have been long out of use and long out of support. So why did somebody make a Hannah Montana Ubuntu based distro? Well, let's. I was going to say let's see what the web tells us, but this is an old version of Conqueror, so it might not even work. But let's see. We can go to Google. Just out of interest. Ah, yes, no, of course not. That would be HTTP, and the web has since moved on. Yeah, okay, this is useless. So, yeah, it is actually interesting to take a look at more the old KDE than anything else. So, of course, the interesting thing is if you weren't a Hannah Montana fan, or if you were a Hannah Montana fan, you could really just have gone and themed your own version of Kubuntu. More Hannah Montana stuff here. I'm really not going to go through that. Um, so yeah, that's just Hannah Montana Linux, which wasn't a joke, sadly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.